Next up, looking at pound Swiss here. So this actually broke my area too. I do have a trade on this. I think my entry is close to this one. I don't have a stop on it, so I'm looking to try to add more to it. Actually, this pound Swiss actually put, like, the pound overall is just pushing up so much more than I thought against all the pairs. So I'll have to adjust this. I don't have a stop loss on my trade, so but if I did, I would have been stopped out. So now, I mean, it does, as of today, seems to be pulling back massively, which is good. And basically, this liquidity zone, I mean, price did break it. If this was the previous high liquidity zone, price did break it, and now is rejecting back, and was below it, but now is still rejecting inside of it. So price is still below this moving average, so it is still bearish. And this is still your monthly range, 112.5 all the way down to 108.5. 400 pips. I don't think it's going to do that this month. I think it's probably going to kind of just even out, maybe come back down to 111-ish, and that's probably it. This zone's kind of invalidated right now because price completely went through it, but now is pushing back into it. So what I'm actually going to do is delete this for now because it's not super clear. I'll clean up all these zones. Your 111 zone down here, still very relative. So we'll keep this one. This is kind of our next target. Price has been pretty bullish since hitting this zone. You can see it's been pretty much straight back up. So, and actually took out all these wicks as of right now. You know, Friday's price closed above all these wicks. So a little bit iffy, but I'll drop it down to a 4 hour and we'll just kind of see what we're working with. You can see it was creating higher highs, higher lows, but now with this bearish engulfing candle here, it's pushed it back down to right around 112 here. So I'm actually going to mark this out because that's huge. We'll put this in 112. I kind of need price to break this level because then I'm looking to add to my position. I'll sell even more. I do still think it's bearish. I think everything against the Swiss is relatively bearish. Like I said, on this daily, it's still below it. So but I needed to break below 112. You can see it rejected, broke above it. Now it's kind of sitting on top, still sitting on top. So there's this area of liquidity on the 4 hour here that I would say we could actually adjust this. This is really my main area I needed to break. I need to break this area, and then I would look for more shorts. Definitely not looking to buy this or hedge my position or anything. I'm looking to sell more, but I'm waiting for the right time. I kind of need something like this to happen, and then I don't think it's going to make it down to its intended monthly range, you know, all the way down to 108.5. This, it probably would have, if it would have broken 111 here, it probably would have made it earlier in the month, but it just found way too much support here in this area. But it is pretty significant, you can see, so it held it a lot. So 111 is super superior when it comes to, you know, the liquidity here and holding price and kind of just creating support for it. So we will see if price breaks this level, then I'll add to my position. If not, I kind of just gotta hang out, wait flat. Obviously don't want to buy this or anything. It's still below the moving average. If you jack it up on higher time frames here, I mean, last week was pretty bullish though and engulfing, so I mean, that kind of makes me a little scared depending on, you know, how this week is. Kind of, I mean, if it breaks above, I'm trying to see, if it breaks above this section of price here, currently it was in it, so if it breaks above 112, 112.70, if it breaks above the zone, breaks above this moving average, then I'd be a little more concerned. I would have to look at you know, maybe taking a loss or hedging or something of that nature. But until then, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait. I do still think that these Swiss pairs are bearish. I just think the pound is pushing up a lot higher than it relatively should, and maybe it's because all the other currencies are really weak, but I do still think the Swiss is very strong. And then from a monthly standpoint, I mean, yeah, you're just in a real heavy area of resistance. Like, it just, on a monthly standpoint, just doesn't close below 112 really, so 111.85 kind of thing. So I mean, it hasn't closed below 1180 since December of 2022, so it's been a long time. So I mean, that's what's kind of giving us a lot of struggle, you know, to break 111. There's just a lot of support at this area. So, but I mean, hopefully what price does is it, you know, it chips away at it. It breaks this level to the downside, breaks again below this moving average, and then you know, we would tackle this 111 area again and hopefully break it. So I might look at trying to break even. I got to look at where my entry was. I think it's somewhere around here. So maybe I'll look around. You look at breaking even on my short position on pound Swiss here. But as of right now, I don't really have much on it. Definitely don't want to buy it. Don't really want to sell anymore. Would consider selling more if it breaks this zone. But this 111 area has just been a real burden. So we'll see. You know, the idea of adding more to my position here and then hoping that it breaks 111 is kind of iffy. So I might just try to look to average out or break even on my first entry. So that's my take. Hopefully it breaks below this and goes to 111, but in between, you know, 111 and I mean even 113, kind of this area here. I'm just curious where. I just want to check this quick. If you're looking for a retracement of this segment of price, I mean, yeah, this is kind of where we'll probably head to. So right here is between your 50% and your 618, which is where price likes to go to. So there is a chance that price retests this area, this 112.5 area, between 112.5 and 113, and rejects that, and then then it'll gain the momentum to break 111. So like that is what I'm hoping for, and that might be a next month thing, to be honest. So it might be something like this. For the rest of this month, it'll go into this area here, start rejecting, and this area will provide a lot of liquidity for the bears, hopefully, to enter, and then shoot this all the way back down to 111, and then further after that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So I might have to hold my position a little bit longer than I intended to, but even just to break even, but that's okay. I mean, this is a main area, so as scary as this might be, you know, price hitting this area and then pushing back up to this area, I mean, really all it is just a retrace as of right now. But I mean, if it breaks above this area, then we're kind of screwed. We're gonna have to get out because then it's just way too risky to hold, because then I mean the bulls are back into play. Price is above the moving average, like then it gets really greasy. So we want to avoid that. As of right now, this is still definitely possibly a retracement. So totally fine, totally normal price action occurring right now if this continues up a little bit further to this 112.5 area and starts retesting it. So not too concerned about it yet. Still pretty hopeful. Hopefully price comes up to this 112.5 area, rejects it. Towards the end of the month it holds it, and the next month it just boom carries right down to this 111 area, and then we will be good to go. So that is my take on pound Swiss.